Yes, you might think gaming is a relatively new thing, but here at the Centre for Computing History we can show it goes back a long way. So we've got the dawn of electronic computing here, and we've got our Cambridge machine EDSAC, which produced one of the earliest recognised video games in OXO. We can show you that playing in a little while. We'll be using our Elliott machine here. So this is our Elliott Automation 903. Dates from 1967, runs on paper tape, not a microchip in sight, it's all transistorized, big metal transistors, weighs about 385 kilos, and uses a lot of power, uses about a kilowatt of power, which is a large electric heater in today's terms. But even a machine as old as this and seemingly cumbersome to use can still play some kind of game, as we're now about to find out. They did like noughts and crosses on it. Problem, so it's blocked me there. But I've got no choice, I've got to move to number 2. So it looks like it's really slow, but it thinks it's talking to a printer, it thinks it's talking to this. So everything on this computer would have come out onto paper. So paper would have been gaming's very earliest screen. So it's a draw. So yeah, that's one of our earliest gaming things, and then through to like the 1970s now, we have got one of our dumb terminals here. We're going to run a game called Animal. So this is a very simple game, actually written by a technician who worked for DEC just to keep his kids amused. Are you thinking of an animal? Yes, I am. Or I need it in capitals. Yes. Is it a large land animal? Yes. Does it have a long neck? Well, yeah, let's type in yes. Is it a giraffe? Yes. And it's an early program where it would actually learn. And so it could go through all these options, you could add more and more answers to it and it becomes more sophisticated. But what we can do, we can go and look at one of the first or earliest ever video game crazes, which is through in this area. And so yeah, we've got Pong here, so you could either play it one player, which I can do here, or with a flick of a button I can make it 2 player, so we'd each have these little frenetic little battles here. So yeah, early competitive little game here. But people were starting to learn to play in the arcades in the late 1970s, so they would be playing games, like on our fabulous Space Invaders cab here. And here we have our famous Space Invaders. So original cab, and just shoot the aliens. They come lower and lower down the screen here. They get more and more vicious as they come down. They also get faster, and the reason they get faster is basically a bit of an accident in that the processor's got less to do. Oh, I think that might be game over. Yeah, there we go. Just as you might want to have one of these machines in your own home. So companies like Atari here are coming up with a similar arcade experience as they could have down their local arcade and not keep throwing 25 cents or pence or whatever it was into the machine. Oh, here we go. Gotcha. There we go. Still got it after all these years. So yeah, the American machines dominated for a fair while. So we've got the Intellivision with an absolutely terrible joypad is probably the biggest chore of trying to use this machine. So yeah, these the public lost faith in these early machines because, especially in America, because they were just buying the same type of game again and again. But did this really affect us in Japan or the Europe? It didn't really. It was an American thing. The collision detection was terrible. In Japan, they had the Famicom by 1983, which was producing wonderful games like Super Mario Brothers here. Didn't play this game though until around 1990 because in Europe we were using totally different machines. Yeah, Nintendo started off as a little card manufacturer and they made Hanafuda cards. Oh, I've just died. That's tremendously embarrassing. In 1889, then they went on to plastic toys. Sega here, their name stands for Service Games, so SEGA, Service Games, and they were basically started up to make or repair pinball machines for the American military. So that's really the beginning of these two companies. But over in Europe, we were using some other really wonderful machines here. Probably the most important machines in the museum. These are the home micros. This is when the computer became personal. So although the Americans had them since like 79, Acorn were building them here in Cambridge, the Atom there, playing a very simple little pinball game. The ZX81, cheap little programmable machine, all in black and white, but we could learn to code with this wonderful guide. We could load games off of cassette tapes, play our music on it or record our games data onto. If we'd been at school in the early to mid 1980s, this would have been our machine. So this is the BBC Micro, also designed here in Cambridge by Acorn. Written here in Cambridge by Ian Bell and David Braben, of course, is the famous Elite game, one of the first games where you could just go anywhere you wanted, fly your little spaceship round, trade, make money, build up your ship. This is all back in 1984, it's pretty amazing. Loads of people learning to code led to people like Matthew Smith, writing games like Manic Miner here, which is an absolutely, still to this day, terrific little game. And yeah, just a simple little puzzle, how do I get off this screen and collect all the keys? But yeah, Matthew Smith, his games made an absolutely huge amount of money. Yeah, he was only a young lad, 15 years old I think he was. And yeah, these machines, very rapidly, they gain far more memory, they are able to do some quite sophisticated games by this point. Let's try and load Whizball here. So yeah, unbelievably by the early 1980s, it doesn't look much now, but these were games that were more of a match for the arcade machines of the time. The machines were great, so we've got the Dragon here from Wales playing another game from a company called Hewson. Yeah, these machines have got a bit of a problem, so they all run different basic languages. They've got similar commands and similar ways of working, but if someone wrote a game for a Commodore 64, they would need to find someone to produce a Spectrum version. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary at the moment. And then, yeah, we come down to something like our Amstrad here, which it looks like someone's gone and really mullered here, so they've gone and broken a key in here. But yeah, this machine was a great success. It was produced cheaply abroad, so it was able to undercut some of the others. And you got a TV with it. It was all in one unit, which was a real revolution at the time. And then we've got Commodore's next outing here, so adds more colour. Its bigger brother, the Plus 4, really quite a capable machine, but it wasn't what the public wanted at the time. And yeah, then we've got the MSX here, so no one quite remembers what MSX stands for. It's still argued over. Most people think it's Microsoft extension. Unfortunately, it arrived over here in the UK a bit too late. It came here in like late 85, early 86, so it unfortunately didn't catch on, but there is a huge following for the MSX now as people have gone back. People like myself have gone back and realised what an absolutely amazing machine it was.